Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'll be taking you guys with me as I prep for the month of September in my bullet journal. This month's theme is kind of fall coded. However, instead of just focusing on one thing like coffee or pumpkins or autumn leaves, I've decided to just sort of accumulate all those little factors that make fall or autumn what it is and just sort of do this stamp-ish design all around the cover. I definitely think this is one of my favorite covers that I've done for bullet journaling, which is saying something because I have been bullet journaling for the last few years. Typically, I have a system of doing the months or like the font or title of the month in black. However, in special months, for example, my birthday month, my birth month, I like to use gold. And in September, I decided to use gold because September is the start of the back to school season, which is something very significant as a student. I'll be doing my second last year of high school this year, so I decided that September would be done in gold. I'm using a Choose 07 gold pen, and this is a trusty pen that I've been using for quite some time. And to fill in, I'm also using a paint marker in gold, and I'm just trying to get the finer areas with the pen. I'll be linking all the stationery items that I'm using in the description box. However, I probably won't be able to find links for all of them because some of these supplies I've been using since forever and I don't even remember where I got them from. However, my most recent supplies, like the zebra mineliners and a few of the other things like book tags, etc., were recent purchases of mine. So you will find them in my most recent video, my Stationery Pal haul. I'll have that video both linked in the description box and in the info card, so it'll be right above. And you can watch that if you want to know all the stationery supplies I got. I also have a discount going on with Stationery Pal, so either click my link or use my code, which is also attached in the description box, for 15 to 18% off on Stationery Pal. They have some really cool supplies going on, and they also have a back to school season offer, which is great because on Stationery Pal you can actually combine multiple coupon codes, which means you'll also have the back to school sale as well as my discount code, making it all the more cost efficient. Because this cover is really detailed, and also I'm not using a dot grid or bullet journal per se, I'm actually using a diary that has both lined and blank sheets. The thing is, I haven't been able to find a bullet journal that has the dot grid paper that's also like not on the pricey side. Most dot grid journals are really expensive, which is why I've kind of resorted to using blank sheeted or lined journals. And typically I don't really struggle with using blank sheeted or lined journals. However, because today's cover design is very detailed and I wanted to make sure that everything fit the page correctly, I traced it with a pencil first before going over it with pen. That way I don't make any mistakes. I'm not over obsessive about my bullet journaling experience because I know that it gets tiresome if you put too many restrictions while journaling. However, I do have a thing about wanting my cover or my monthly theme to be perfect. So like the first page of each month has to be exactly symmetrical and like just specific beyond just unbelievably specific, and I think that has to do with my OCD. I do, however, think I'm gonna make a how-to journal video or a journaling 101 video, which will list not just my bullet journaling, but also how to generally journal, because a lot of people talk about how bullet journaling is very trying or burdensome and how they would rather have like an everything journal, so they'll just do whatever they want with it instead of having it like so fixed and detailed. So I'm thinking of doing a journaling 101 video soon, although I'm not sure if I'll have the time to do that since school is starting. inspiration for the September cover came from a bunch of other bullet journaling themes that I've come across on both Pinterest and YouTube. For example, this little um, box that has the definition of tea in it is one that I've actually seen on someone else's bullet journaling spread, and it came on my Pinterest feed. And I decided to incorporate that onto my spread just because I felt like tea goes hand in hand with the month of September, or really any month, but it just felt like it worked really well with autumn, so I made sure to incorporate coffee and tea throughout this entire spread. I just wanted the vibes to be very cozy and vintage, and it just had like bakery goods or coffee and tea because I feel like that's what resembles or that's what represents autumn for me. It definitely reminded me of Gilmore Girls, all the coffee I was drawing. And finally, when I was done tracing over all of the penciled lines with my black pen and doodling them and making sure they were all perfect, I decided to fill them in with my zebra mineliners. Again, if you look at my Stationery Pal haul video, you would know that I got both the 2022 Zebra Mineliners Gentle set and the 2022 Natural set. I decided that I would use the natural set mainly for journaling and the gentle set for school note taking. However, in this month's spread, I've used both the gentle and natural set just because there's a lot of colors being incorporated. So when I am basically filling the areas in, I'm using the chiseled tip or like the highlighter tip of the mine and because this is a dual-sided mine it also comes with a bullet tip, which is what I use for like the outer areas to make sure that I'm not going outside the lines. However, in certain areas, I did intentionally go out of the lines to give it a more smooth doodled effect. And finally, after spending about like 45 minutes literally doing the cover, I was done with it. I just really spent a lot of time on this cover this time because I wanted to make sure it was very detailed and exact, and I really loved how it turned out. I thought it was really cute and cozy, and there's so much in it, which just made me feel like it was the perfect way to start. And then once I was done adding some finishing touches, I flipped onto the next page to begin working on my calendar page. I know some people like making a small calendar that's only on one side of the page, but my calendar takes up 2 pages, and the reasoning is because I want the boxes for each day to be big enough for me to write a lot in them, like the day's events and stuff. I normally find that if you draw a calendar on just one page, there's not enough space for you to write multiple tasks per day. I also typically have like a little box on the side for birthdays and notes. However, this time I decided to ditch the notes box because I realized I don't actually use it, and instead I drew a boba cup to write my key. So basically, I was color coding my like birthdays, YouTube, school events, etc. And this helps you keep track of and just easily understand what you have the next day in just one glance. I also have a box on the side that will have birthdays in the month listed. This helps you keep track of all your friends and family's birthdays. And I looked up a quote on my phone for fall, and I came up with this one by Oscar Wilde, which I thought was very fitting. And I wrote that at the bottom, and I also added a bunch of other doodles at the bottom to keep on theme with the September fall vibe. And at the top of the calendar, I started working on the banner, which also had a coffee cup, again to maintain the autumn vibes. And I wrote the September on it using the zebra mineliners. I used the dark pink from the Natural 2022 set for the first few letters, and then I finished off the rest of the letters from the title September using the light pink in the Gentle 2022 set. I also used my Pilot pen throughout, which I'll be attaching a link below. They sell a lot of these on Amazon, however, I got mine from an in-person store. And just to add a little bit of fun to it, I guess, I filled in some of the empty gaps with cups of boba. And finally, I was done with my calendar for the month of September, and I moved on to my next page where I did my weekly spread. So the way my weekly spread works is a little bit different. I know most YouTubers that I come across usually do their weekly spreads as a to-do list for 7 days of the week. However, I also include my habit tracker because while I know a lot of YouTubers and bullet journaling YouTubers tend to have their habit tracker in one page for all 30 or 31 days of the month, I like keeping my habit trackers per week. So instead of having it all in one page for 31 days, I have it on each weekly spread for 7 days, because there are certain habits that I only incorporate during certain weeks of the month. For example, in a particular week in a month where I know that I'm going to be going on a holiday, or I'm not, particularly strict on myself or trying to be too productive, I usually won't hold myself accountable for a lot of the habits that I normally do. So hence, for me, I think it's better to have a habit tracker by the week instead of by the month. And it's a very simple habit tracker. You just draw like 7 boxes, and you have to draw however many, depending on how many habits you're incorporating. And I finished drawing 7 boxes, each size differently. You have to do this according to how productive you are in each day. For example, some people are less productive during the weekends, and some people are more productive during the weekends. So according to that, I size each of my boxes, and I then write habits beside my habit tracker. And I've actually seen someone on Pinterest do a very similar habit tracker. If I can find her account, I will have it linked in the description box below. And at the bottom, I write week 1 and draw a cup of coffee, again to maintain the theme. And I then begin filling in the box with some of my own doodles. And I also write the beginning is always today, because I wanted something to remind me of the fact that this new school year is going to be different. I then used the Zebra Mindliner's natural set to color in the leaves, and I also color in the Habits font using the green from the 2022 natural set. And then I doodle in some more coffee cups again to maintain the autumn energy. I loved doodling these because they were so fun to do, and I also liked the creativity in the designs I made inside of them. And I filled them in using the brown from the Natural 2022 Mindliner set. In order to have variation in the colors of coffee, I also used a black pen to represent darker coffee, so like black coffee. And that's the end of the video. I didn't show my weekly spread for week 2 and week 3 because they're all the same anyways, and I felt like it would extend the video a bit too much. But this is essentially like the basic template for my bullet journal spread, and I really loved looking at it. I thought the flip through was very satisfying and it was very detailed, and I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I did. If you're not someone that likes the whole autumn and fall theme and would rather have some other theme like fireworks, I will suggest you check out my January 2023 bullet journaling video, which is also following a similar template. And I really liked how this video turned out, and I hope you guys did too. If you guys checked out this video, do comment down below and let me know what else you guys want to see. I'll see you guys next time.